Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good day. We are going to start our last full unit of the year. It's crazy to think, but we're going to start by just doing a review warm-up of a sector area. So go ahead and find the area of the shaded sector, and then we'll get started on this new unit. All right, so this whole new unit is going to be on volume. So we're going to break it up by different types of figures. And so today we're going to be working on prisms, primarily cubes or triangular prisms. So cubes would be something that has a square or a rectangle base, and then a triangular prism has some sort of a triangular base on it. Okay, so we're going to start with just regular prisms, and you'll notice that volume is the big B times H, and the big B is just the area of the base. So it's usually the area of a rectangle or square, which is length times width, and then times the height. Okay, and then your answer is always going to be in units cubed. So inches cubed, centimeters cubed, feet cubed. Okay, so if we were to do this one right here, we would say that the volume of this would be 2 times 5 times 2, which is 20 cubic centimeters, or 20 centimeters cubed. Okay, so we're going to do a couple examples and just kind of work through them. So here are two different types, and I'm actually going to pull up my other screen so that we can work through these. Going to work on just this one first. So this one is a rectangular prism. And again, the area of the base of this would be 3 times 5. And the height of this would be 8. So we would just take 3 times 5 times 8. And we would get 120 inches cubed. Okay. Now we're looking at this other one. We have the area of this base, and the base is 7.5 times 4. This side times this side is the base, and then times the height, which is 2.5. So if we take that and multiply it together, we get 75, and again, inches cubed. Everything should be in cubic inches. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys practice a couple, and then we'll move on to triangular prisms. So go ahead, let me make this a little bit bigger. Go ahead and find the volume of this prism. All right, and now we're going to find the volume of this prism. So go ahead and find the volume of this prism. All right, so now we're going to talk about the volume of a triangular prism, okay? And you'll notice that the formula is similar to the same, but we have to take half of it. And if you think about the way that a rectangular prism would be, if we cut it in half, that's how you would get two triangles, okay? And here's a good example of what I mean by that. Here is a cube, okay? And if I cut it in half, notice that two triangles come out of it, which is two triangular prisms when something is three-dimensional. And so that's why we take the same area that we have, or the same volume we've been using, and now we cut it in half. Okay, all your answers are still going to be based in cubic units. And the biggest thing that you want to know is about this height. Okay. When you're dealing with a triangular prism, you have to make sure that we are not dealing with a slant height, but what we are dealing with is a true height of this figure, which means it needs to come down to a 90-degree angle in order to be able to be considered the height. If it is a slant, it is not a height. Okay, so you really have to pay attention to which part of the triangular prism they're asking you to use as the height. Okay, so we're going to, again, go through a couple of examples just to kind of work through what this is going to look like. And then you'll do a little practice, and then you'll be on to your exit ticket. So let's go through these. All right, so I'm going to start with this one. Okay. The first thing I need to do is I need to figure out, obviously there's 4 things that are there and I don't need all 4 things. So I have to determine which part of this do I not need. And what you should recognize is that this 5 centimeters is not needed because it is on a slant. And we do not need a slant height. We need a true height. And you'll notice that this 3 centimeters would be the same as this. So there is your triangle. It is a 4 by 3 triangle. The height of this, if you were to put it this way, would be that way. Otherwise, it would be a 4 by 8 and 3 high. Doesn't really matter. But no matter what, we have to take 1/2 of that to be able to find the actual volume. So when I do that, I get 48 centimeters cubed. Okay? If I look at this one, my base is this part here. So it is 24 by 22. My height is 7. And again, I have to take half of that. So 24 by 22 by 7 divided by 2, 1848 meters cubed. Okay? So really, you're doing the exact same thing as we were doing for the rectangle. We are just now making it in half because it's cutting our rectangular prism in 2. So here's a couple examples for you. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Go ahead and find the volume of this prism. Okay, and now go ahead and find the volume of this prism. And lastly, find the volume of this prism. When you're done, there is a 3-question exit ticket that you need to get a 3 out of 3 on for credit. So you can jump into that exit ticket as soon as you are finished answering this question. Let me know if you have any questions or need help on anything.